All right, you guys, welcome to the Noble L Show. You guys can join us on our website. I know it's been a really long time. You guys, so much stuff is going on. It is not even funny as I'm showing you guys. First of all, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your research with us here. Those of you who are interested in the stuff I'm showing you today, when you write to us, a lot of people write to us for a lot of the things we present on this channel and the original OG channel. Just tell us the names, and if you can tell us the date of the name of whatever it is that you're searching for us to send to you, and that way we can look it up, preferably with the date as well too, if that's a possibility. Right? Makes it easier for us here. You guys can join us on our email group. You can visit us, join our email group. You can email us at themullings@gmail.com. You can also join our online tutor school class. You can also, we're up to 13 assignments there. You can join us on the 2 YouTube channels, and remember to like, share, subscribe. You can also email us for a private email consultation. Those of you who are remedying matters, remember what we always tell you guys here, to study out the laws that we share with you. You can go to the channel. We've shared a lot of laws on the channel that you can use. We like you to memorize the laws. So if you're stopped on the roadway, you know exactly the affidavit to give the private mercenaries or third-party interlopers along the roadway, right? We used to, as you know, on this channel, we used to write for a lot of people, get a lot of people out of situations. Sadly, they would end back up in those situations because they didn't study the laws, right? So we're saying to each and every one of you, just study the laws that we share with you on the channel, on the court claim with all laws. If you want help with the stuff, you can fill out everything. Just follow the templates. They're already filled out for you, and we'll proofread them for you. We won't fill them out for you, but we'll proofread them for you. And we really like you to protect yourself along the roadway. So we really encourage you to do the hold harmless and indemnity agreement, the 1776 common law copyright, along with the do not detain affidavit, the cease and desist. I hope my voice is coming out properly this time. I hope you can hear me. The cease and desist affidavit, along with the IRS status correction. We know it's been reported to us a lot of things are happening. We just found out recently about Robert David Steele, may his soul rest in peace. Shocked here to hear that the Spirit of God, of course, you guys know, was telling us something different. Anyways, so he did a lot of work, and we just want to say a huge thank you to him and condolences to his wife and his family, right? But yeah, guys can write to us for the GSA bonds, the 1099 OID, to get back the finances they claimed you owed. The GSA bonds are to set off matters for things like child support cases. Those of you in nonviolent offenses, you can set off the mortgages, auto loans, student loans. And the 1099 OID gets back the finances they claimed you owed. It did take us a year, you guys. It didn't happen overnight. It took us a year to get back the finances through the 1099 OID, right? But we did get back something significant in that. To this day, we're still really grateful. And we did have to stand our ground. And the powers that be, when we shared with them that we didn't exactly know what to do either, they sent us a true bill, which we send with the 1099 OID as well too. So yeah, to support us here, me here, you guys can go to PayPal at themullings@gmail.com. I am going to go through some stuff quickly. And yeah, a lot of stuff has come out, you guys, that's just shocking. Like they sent us a video with this one amazing guy that was explaining that 3/4 of what we thought were women celebrities are apparently men. So, Asir the Ducateers, huge thank you to you, because he was the first one I heard explaining that to me. That was shocking. I had to go back and rewatch Audrey Hepburn, Carol Burnett, all these celebrities, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce. Um, yeah, I was just shocked. Shakira, Lady Gaga, what's her name from what's her name again? A whole bunch of them, you guys. You have to now even Tina Turner. I was wondering if maybe they started out, some of them maybe as women, and then over time changed, like with the transhuman stuff that was going on. Shocking stuff. If I find the video to that, I'll put that in the description below so you guys can see more of what's. And apparently, all of the politicians' wives were men, people. Ronald Reagan, his wife, their so-called children. A lot of them are apparently men. So I was just looking at this over and over again to try to see Liza Minnelli. I was looking at all these different celebrities, Debbie Reynolds, her daughter or son, Cher. Shocking. Then I got this that was just blowing my mind with who was apparently behind all the jabs. And you guys know that some people here took the jabs, you guys, and within like a day they were done. So I'm just like just shocked. In addition to that, I can't even go on the road at certain times of the day because it's just so mind blowing here, eh? You're in 150 temperature degrees, right? And you're seeing these entities walking around with these things on their faces, right? There's no oxygen. There's no oxygen circulating. So I'm saying to this one guy this morning, I said, you guys know you're farmers, right? You guys know we need air to breathe. So you guys decide. You're either going to kill off yourself and everybody else around you. Like, what are you guys doing? So he immediately took down the thing. I'm like, seriously? Put your head in the game, man. So you guys know I've had some very interesting experiences over the last few weeks, right? Those of you who, I just want to say a huge thank you to my people here because there's some people that I have to write to on the daily. I want to put a hedge of protection around all that is good globally. Donald Trump, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, and all the good people globally that is helping us to get free. And yeah, I mean, some incredible stuff, you guys. Remember, we were sharing with you that we were seconded by the elders and the ancestors to fix up a place for them here, right? Their birthplace, in fact. And so we were doing that, finished it and everything. Didn't realize people are watching us, waiting to partake of stuff, didn't even have any respect for us, and disrespected the program and dishonored the elders and stuff. And we were like, what the hey? So of course, you know what we do here? We sent off the public affidavit and stuff. So we said to you guys, those of you who are just newbies here, listen to the videos. You will hear me make public affidavits all day, every day. Attention, office of like I'm going to do right now. Interpol, the Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Now, a couple things. A number of affidavits we've sent to you in the private. See to it that everything is remedied this night. All the agents that came against us, right, that stopped us on the roadway, deal with them this night. Remove them from the force, right? And then now you're going to go and speak to all those little agents down at the market who, as you know, we are seconded as angels to help some of the people here with food and whatnot for their loved ones and as well too. We do not do any kind of verbal intercourse on the roadway, and we don't appreciate any third party interloper coming up to us asking us questions and stuff. As kings, we ask questions. We don't expect anyone to ask us nothing. So speak to the little agents at the meat market and whatever and tell them don't ask us nothing, because you're going to hear me tell them some stuff and they're not going to like it. I don't play with people, right? In addition to the fact you heard me make the public affidavit, right? So, attention, Office of Interpol, Army, the Navy, the military, the Marines, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, the Fraud Department. I come to you in good faith in one's proper person as a living flesh and blood sentient being. Surrey Juris, Surrey heirs, heir to the world's vast estate. Reubenite tribe, Chief American Indian, a loaded title, Moorish American National, UCC 1-308, without recourse, all rights reserved. I stand by the Book of Ruth, by my deceased organ harvested husband and myself, Jackson. Now, each and every one of those instances at that institution downtown where you saw me being accosted by these people behind, I couldn't even see the people behind me. Here I was coming out of the sun, standing under some shade, minding my own business. Here comes some private mercenaries doing business as security guards. Some young agent deciding that he's going to tell me to step off. As we've claimed all the lands, eh? We've already claimed all the lands globally. So I said to one of the elder ones to go and get the manager. You know, I was waiting for that manager to come out. You guys, you have no idea. Because I already went in the vestibule and made my public affidavit to them and told them to stop the confusion here. So I'm waiting for them to come up because I'm going to say some stuff. And when I finish, the whole earth is going to open up and take them all in. So I'm saying to you now, deal with them down there. Remove that little young agent because he was behind me citing writing. I'm like, really? I'm standing here as the Rosa Parks, the only one saying anything to anybody about taking off the crap. So you need to go and speak to them in that so people can be free here, because God knows by the time I'm done talking to them, they don't even know what to say. So you're going to go and deal with them now. Remove that little agent, because the elder one that came out, at first I was mad because he's talking about Canaanite land, Canada, and whatnot. And then I realized that, what he was doing. And I said, okay, fine. But that little young one behind me that was talking all that smack, you could hear him on the camera. Go and remove him this night. Now, in addition to the fact, that some of these agents that came against us at that, the elders' domicile and that we were fixing up for them, that some of them have met their demise, right? Yeah, you guys, God's not fooling around. God's not sleeping. Remember, who's the God? Psalms 82, Psalms 82:6? We are. So, yeah, and, I was right to the government ordinance department all day, every day. So, yeah, we're just watching some stuff go down. Now, the Spirit of God is telling me that some of these agents secretly may have also taken the job because they were trying to get the one-upmanship on the communities and the people that they're around and stuff, not realizing that, So, this is what's going on. These are the people running the show. You guys can read it. I put it up, so let me just make it clear so y'all can see what's going down, right? There's some lawsuits as well, you guys. Let me see if I can bring it over so you guys can see everything there. I'm not making this stuff up. Like, this is some serious stuff. So when you see all these entities now and you realize that the Vatican Corporation, the Black Jesuit Order, the Grey Jesuit Council, Arcana, and they're reporting about the nuns now coming out. Remember, we had talked about the nuns way back when? That they sent me a video about the nun who went in and all the stuff that happened to her. So I think you've already dealt with the nuns, or the stuff's coming out in the mainstream now. Muta Baruka, which I was shocked to hear, talking something sensible for God knows how long. And I really like him. Don't get me wrong. I'd liked him from the very beginning, but he had gone into mainstream media and I don't know what the heck happened. He was just talking about nothing. So all of a sudden now they sent me his stuff this morning. I'll put in the description below so you can hear the nuns coming out now and speaking out. So, yeah, our wish is that you just go round up the rest of them, interview the nuns, whatever. I don't know where you're going to put them because unless you get rid of those agents in all those institutions. And then thank you to Mel K and Charlie Ward and all you guys that are out there, Scott McKay and Kirsten W. and a whole host of you that's sharing some shocking stuff about what's going on around the world that we didn't even know, man. The military industrial complex is like everywhere, you guys. They sent me this the other day that was just unbelievable, eh? When I saw it, I couldn't believe that. Let me see if it's on this one here. The entertainment industry. I know you guys are cleaning that up, so I don't really have anything to report there. This might be too small, but if you go on DuckDuckGo and then you type in the Lucid Trust, LUCID Trust, and the entertainment industry. No joke, you guys. LUCIS Trust. International authorities and the UN go and shut these agents down, charge them for genocide and high treason, war crimes against humanity, racketeering, peonage, estate land theft, and identity theft on all of us heirs and the good people on the planet. And yeah, and deal with them this night. Charge them up 70,000 for defamation of character, 75,000 defamation of character, 75,000 punitive damages, 75,000 compensatory damages, payable in lawful money and or fiat equivalent. Send it to all of us who are subjected to this fraud and stuff. And then you're going to shut down this trust, right? Because remember, all these trusts that are out there is built on the backs of what? The heirs, you guys. It's on the backs of all of our stuff. So you will see here now what their plans are, and they were talking about it in yesterday. I think it was Charlie Ward. They sent some videos. Couple things. One doctor was explaining that these masks that people are wearing now they discovered it cause heart attacks, cancer, lung cancer, pneumonia, a whole host of other residual things that show up over time. And they're now talking like 3, 5, 10 years down the line. So it's no joke. Take them off, you guys. So here, the UN, after the League of Nations failed to prevent World War One, 1939 to 1945, and realizing um, that mankind cannot afford a third world war. The United Nations was established to replace the flawed League of Nations in 1945 in order to maintain international peace and promote cooperation in solving international economic, social, and humanitarian problems. Anyways, it goes on to say, when you look at this, I'm going to see if I can put this in the description below. You guys can see what the agenda is in the music movie industry and what their plans are and what they've been implementing since the beginning of time. And a lot of us didn't fully realize it. We just saw some corruption in it and didn't understand that their plan was to remove restrictions on sex. Sex is the biggest joy, and Christianity robs people of this. I mean, it's huge. It goes on. It's got 10 different things. I'm not going to read them all here, but you guys can go and look at them now, right? In addition to that, they sent us a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me see if I can find. Okay, the CDC. There's now posted. This is a lawsuit. America Frontline Doctors AL plaintiffs. Doctors are suing you guys versus Xavier BECERRA, Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. You guys remember it was reported to us in Canaanite land, Canada, Alberta. There was a Caucasian man very astute man. He was given a $1,500 fine for, I think, the Rona. They were, I guess, had too many people or whatever. Long story short, he decided to sue. And when his day in court came, he decided to present himself. He didn't hire an attorney or a lawyer or anything like that. And while he went in, the agent doing business as judge, said that he'd have to speak on his behalf. One of the questions that this agent doing business as judge asked the chief agent in Alberta doing business as medical chief officer at the time, I forget her name right now. Long story short, they were asked one question. Can she isolate the Rona, sitting SARS, something? And her response basically was no. Long story short, big victory that day. It's over, right? So that was way back when. Anyway, this is a really good court case here, but here's what we discovered. There was another court case they sent to us. It was about a man who had some history of doing some heinous acts. Long story short, he was in a mental institution, I believe, and there was a lawsuit. The lawsuit was, I think, pertaining to his medical rights, because this is medical treason, right? He was subjected to, or they were trying to subject him to, these employees working at this institution. If memory serves me, I'm basically reiterating what I think it was talking about, because it basically boiled down to the fact that this man, or these patients, or people in general who are subject to people, employees, or whatever, trying to impose medical devices or medication or prescription, whatever, on the masses or on the people's health. It's called battery, you guys. It's battery. It's battery, and it's a tort claim, and you can sue. It's battery, it's a tort claim, and you can sue. So what's happening now, I guess people are starting to sue them, because my thing is, I refuse to tell strangers on the roadway who I don't know anything about my medical health. I don't care if I've been subject to organ harvesting or whatever. It's none of their business. So they don't have a right to come to me and try to give me crack cocaine on the roadway, not knowing anything about me. So the reason why I want that agent fired, international authorities, in that conveyance, pretending to be public governance, wearing a costume, carrying a weapon, as a private mercenary working for the United Nations, who took a oath to uphold the Constitution, and then took another oath to the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, and then took another oath probably as a Jesuit in that. And you heard me make the public affidavit to him loudly in his, I was standing on the roadway, right? So they're stopping us for whatever reason. So when I proceeded to make my public affidavit, All I know is by the grace of God, we ended up writing on. I was waiting for him. God knows I was waiting for him. Anyways, so you're going to go now and round his behind up, because while I was telling him different jurisdiction, because we're in common law, common sense, God's law. Common law, common sense, God's law. And we said to him, you're an admiral maritime law. As a Freemason Jesuit, right? Conversation over. So, Kola Tananatiki, I spoke to him in my indigenous tongue, which he said he didn't understand. He spoke back to me in Spanish. I wasn't about to translate for him, right? And then proceeded to talk about who's competent and who's not. So I said to him, are you a doctor? Ask them, are they doctors? These agents, these civilians on the roadway, now accosting people to wear crap and giving out crack cocaine and that to people who have like, really? You can't turn to someone and try to give them a mask because of a health breathing problem. Are you mad? What are they trying to kill off the people then? So you're going to go and speak to the people. I don't give a crap how you're going to do it, but you need to put out a public thing so the people know they cannot do that. It's against the law. So we have already sued everybody as much as we possibly can, privately and publicly, whether they realize it or not, for genocide, war crimes against humanity, racketeering, because what? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And I can't subject myself to that kind of abuse. It's battery to me, right? And my offspring. So you're going to go and deal with them this night, remedy all that situation for us, right? Deal with the people in Korea who've also been subject to sex trade, slave trade, human trafficking, racketeering by the agent over there who's running the show. Apparently, they've got these people working on ships for nothing as slaves and are threatening their families if they try to run or escape. I don't even think they get paid. They're working 12, 15 hours a day probably. Since when? And all these agents are in cahoots with it. The embassy, you name it. All these heads in these different areas, Poland and what have you. And I guess around the rest of the globe where all the other slaves are, go and remedy all of that. And then all the other situations we're reported to as well, do that on our behalf now. Thank you in advance, and see to the people are compensated for all the war crimes against humanity, and us here too for all the crap that we've been subjected to by these agents doing business as idiots who apparently don't study law. And so he was laughing at me when I said, attention office of Donald Trump, because he proceeded to tell me that Biden's running the show. So you guys know. So anyways, go and deal with all of that on our behalf. Thank you in advance for your speedy response to this matter. By Noble Honorable Ange, El Inadi Alpha, El Reubenite Tribe Chief American Indian, Elodie Tuttle Moorish American National, UCC 1-308, without recourse, all rights reserved. I stand by the Book of Ruth by my deceased organ harvested husband, myself, Jackson. So yeah, I was just watching this stuff, you guys. It's a lot. I really hope you can hear me clearly, and I hope this is not too loud or not too soft. Anyway, they sent us The Origin of the Yoruba and the Lost Tribes of Israel. This book, 17 pages. They also sent us Xaymaca on June 3rd, 2009. This book is 4 pages. The Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the Americas adopted the resolution AG Resolution 2438 XXXX 1X dash O/09 that resolves that the 1962 resolution, which excluded the government of Cuba from its participation in the Inter-American System, ceases to have effect. In the Organization of American States, OAS, the 2009 resolution states that the participation of the Republic of Cuba in the OAS will be the result of a process of dialogue initiated at the request of the government of Cuba in accordance with the practices, purposes, and principles of the OAS. Any amendment to the directory of permanent missions must be reported to protocol at os.org, and there is the different flags. All 35 independent states of the Americas have ratified the OS Charter and are members of the organization. Before 1752, the New Year always began on March 25th. Before 1752, the New Year always began on March 25th. So the symbol was created in 1661. Back then, even though it was actually 1662, So when the first coat of arms made, when was the first coat of arms made? If your answer is 1661 or 1662, you are correct. In 1957, the helmet and mantling was added, and then in 1962, after the so-called independence, the gold color was added to the motto. Now remember, you see this ice green and gold flag? You see these flags with all these different colors? Let me just go back to the flags here. Keep in mind, the only one that's protected is so-called Canada. You know why? Any flag that has red and white, like Switzerland, they're supposed to be neutral or whatever, protected areas. You see all these other flags, all these different colors, especially this one over here, they're not protected, right? That's why there's so much so-called crime and war and all kinds of crap. So just think about that when you're thinking about so-called independence. Never happened. In 1957, the helmet, mantling were added. In America from 1906 to 1957, the Taino and the Jamaican motto were added, and the crocodile was standing on a log. Muda Baruka just played this thing that just like, I knew this a long time ago. You guys heard about the crocodiles and the babies and the slaves, how they were having the stealing the babies when the women, the mothers were out in the field. These agents were stealing the babies and then hanging the babies up or putting them in these cages and then hanging them up. And the crocodiles were going to town, and then they would catch the crocodiles, skin them and stuff, right? So I wonder if that's why they added the crocodile to it. So anyway, the coat of arms, Jamaica coat of arms has undergone several changes over the years. Did you know that before Jamaica's so-called independence, the coat of arms was on the Queen's monarchy national flag? The symbol printed on the front, telling you guys can read the rest of this, right? Because I'm not even going to go into this monarchy motto. Aborigine Americans to the left and right of the shield containing the pineapples. You will find a female and male Aborigine American, respectively. Significance of the Aborigine American and is in fact that are the first inhabitants of Xaymaca. That's Xaymaca. Now, I was reading the book of Hebrews this morning, and I'd read Ephesians and Colossians recently. And at the end of the book of Hebrews, it was talking about Italy, it was talking about faith, and it was talking about the slaves and how they need to obey their masters and whatnot. Now, international authorities, the monks had changed the Bible scriptures, right? And we know that it was supposed to be 711. 711 books are missing, right? So we got 66 books and that's why there's all those 711 stores, because the rest of the Bible was missing. So can you please send it to us now so we can see what's actually in it? Send that to us now. So thank you for all the stuff that you sent to us so far. I really appreciate it. The 1661 coat of arms, American Carib, Aruk, Tayano, Amerindian, Irie, Jamaica. The coat of arms memorializes the American cultures of people of Jamaica. There is a woman bearing a basket of pineapples that grows naturally throughout the land, and a man holding a bow at colonial public schools. Our offspring was taught that they were Arawak. The information these days sets a false sense of who the Aborigine American people of our land really are. The subtle distinction is purely academic, set to connect our people to the Queen by using the so-called title, and Jamaica was presented by the colonist. So when was the word Jamaica invented? That was a question. Because you have Jamaica, then you have Jamaica, right? Jamaica was what? Presented as a corporation. Then you have this book here, which is called The Aborigine. The Indians of Jamaica impressed Columbus most favorably, if we may believe the accounts he left of his discovery and first meeting with them. They possessed great canoes capable of carrying some 80 or 100 warriors each. The first cacique to greet him came out in a beautiful canoe, in the prow of which stood the standard bearer, clad in a mantle of variegated feathers with a tuft of gay plums on his head, and bearing in his hand a fluttering white banner. Two Indians with caps or helmets of feathers of similar shape and color, and their faces painted, beat upon tabors. Two others held trumpets of a fine black wood, ingeniously carved. The two daughters of the Cacique, beautiful in form and countenance, were naked but unabashed and of modest demeanor. Around the head of the chief, people here, you guys, when you go to the rivers and stuff where the people live, adjacent to the rivers, people are still bathing in the rivers, naked as the day they're born, with no inhibitions here, which I think is absolutely incredible considering all the stuff that people have been subjected to, that they still are able to at least be without any inhibitions in that way. I just think it's incredible. Around the head of the chief was a band of stones of various colors. Two plates of gold were suspended from his heirs by rings of very small green stones, and from a necklace of white head. And it's not sexual. People are in the rivers bathing or doing whatever they do, and washing their hair, their locks, or whatever, and just bathing themselves, and it's not a sexual thing. And from a necklace of white beads was hung another plate of guanin, or inferior gold. And we just respect each other. So if you see a woman or a man in there bathing, whatever, and you want to bathe adjacent to them or whatever, there's a mutual respect. If you want to wait for him to come out or wait for her to come out, you can do that too, but there's a mutual respect. In the shape of the fleur de lis, while a girdle of stones was worn around his waist, his wife had on an apron of cotton with similar adornments to the chief, and bands around her arms, while the girls wore no ornament, save their native modesty, and a girdle of green stones. You guys can write me for this book here, Aborigines of the West Indies. What we were saying to the people at the market and people around, we were saying we cannot serve two masters, because either you will love the one and hate the other. If we serve God and love God and we put God first in all things, Bible says, trust no man. Trust no man, right? So we can't walk around and then have these things on our faces inhibiting our ability to breathe, right? Here's another book they sent to us here, Guide to Natural Remedies. And then a collection of our most popular natural remedies. And they're saying to protect your spine here, which I thought was interesting. Anemia, lots of green vegetables. If you guys can get some leaf of life or find the herb or the weed that's growing in front of your house, right? Go and investigate and research that weed. 5 ways to cleanse out your colon, protecting your brain, protecting your heart, good cholesterol, and insomnia. It goes on, right? And then it talks about healing yourself. I thought this was interesting. This man before, 48-year-old overweight vegetarian, Joseph Hill, and this is 1 year after following a raw food diet lifestyle in this book. So that's what he looked like. Isn't that incredible? And then now, spirituality and peace. This book is called, let me see, Heal Yourself 101. Get younger and never get sick again. So I haven't read all these books. This is 206 pages. I just got this recently. So this one, the transatlantic cocaine market. Now you guys know that apparently a lot of the commercial aircrafts that we use were involved in this, And so in this report now, this book, it's 66 pages. It talks about what areas you'll see as you go down here. Some of the areas that had a lot of interference, like who was charged or who stuff was interfered with, what areas, like it talks about the Caribbean, the Europe, how many things were seized, what markets had what, how much tons of stuff they had. So this is really interesting. I just started reading this one recently. And then now, this one here, I was going through this, you guys. So you'll see with this, the list of how this whole thing is set up, right? So you got from the top going down, who controls all. This book is called, let me just go up to the top. The origins of the, will shock you. Okay, so this is where it all began, and it talks about the smallpox, sitting, and measles, and cowpox. But then this is the part I just found absolutely interesting, was the pyramid and how everything was set up, right? So you got the Jesuits, the Illuminati, the CFR, international bankers, the mafia, the Club of Rome, Opus Dei, Masons, New Age movement. And then when you go down here now, you got the list at the top, right? So you got the monetary M1, the papal bloodlines, Orsini, and then you have the names there, the Grey Jesuit Council, the Black Jesuit Order, the Vatican Corporation, the Supreme Council 33, the SMOM Order of Malta. Then you've got the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, and it shows you what comes out of it, right? So in each one, you'll see the arrows pointing to where it comes out. You got the USA Skull and Bones, the UK Pilgrim Society, Opus Dei, Bohemian Club, Council on Foreign Affairs, international authorities. You already know. We already made the public affidavit about all of this. I'm sure you're dealing with it, so I don't have to say it again. Bilderberg Group, the Mount Pelerin Society, the Rockefeller Trilateral Commission, the UK Ditchley Foundation, Club of Rome, the USA, yeah, because everybody here thinks that they're a doctor all of a sudden, medical treason. How did you become a doctor overnight? That you're on the road providing crack, right? To the people, are you mad? USA Hoover Institute, Atlantic Council, USA Committee for Economic Development, CED, the USA Japan France Aspen Institute, and you got the USA American Enterprise Institute, USA Rand Corporation, USA Brookings Institute, the UK USA Hudson Institute, the Center for Strategic International Studies. And then, what comes on under all of this, right, is each of the institution. So then you got Harvard, Yale, and all the different universities. And I guess they probably link up with each and every one of these. That's what's coming to me right now as I'm reading this, right? So, interesting stuff. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. Have yourself a great day. Remember, they said faith without works is dead. And put God first. Who's the God? Peace of the gods you are. And all good things will come after. Remember to support us here. Support me here. You can go to PayPal at themalings@gmail.com. You can join us on our email group. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the international authorities again for all that you've done for us here today. And someone was asking us, they were telling us about the estate, and I was sharing with them how we managed to access our estate was through remedies and set off. So as you know, throughout the time I've been on YouTube, and I've been explaining to you guys that you can hear me make a lot of public affidavits, right? A lot of those things have been remedied and set off. If they weren't set off, a lot of the agents that were involved have now been taken out or arrested or whatever. Some of the ones that are still remaining, some of them have, turned to God and maybe helping. And then other situations we had received, we did the international bills of exchange, the 9 billion international bills of exchange. Thank you to USFL for that. Thank you to all the heirs and mores that shared with us their research and stuff, because we were able to use most, if not all of it, and were successful using it. And that's how we access the estate. So we're still awaiting some of the stuff that we have put the public affidavits out, the accounts, the Indian accounts and stuff like that. We're still waiting for that. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff that we've put out and written to the proper authorities, we've gotten those things taken care of. and some of the agents that we said interfered with us are no longer on the planet and stuff, because the international authorities have dealt with that. And the ancestors and the powers that be have also dealt with them as well too. So thank you to all of that. And we just share this with you to say that as you're on your journey, you'll begin to see things get rectified and stuff. So yeah, is it smooth sailing after that? No, not necessarily, but you are operating under common law, common sense, God's law. So it's a different jurisdiction, and because of that, the universe kicks in. The universe kicks in. Universe kicks in all day, every day for you. Like, share, subscribe. You guys have yourself a great day.